Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be each and every Sunday night, where tonight we're coming to you live and exclusive on Top Split TV for round 11 of Sunday Night Lights, season 28, from the Great Australian Track, Winton. I say Great Australian Track, I tell you what, the folks don't like driving it, but we've got a good crop of die-hard skippy races here tonight. The strength field's about 4,300, but which 4,400, something like that, which is about 1,000 more than any other race this week. But anyway, calling the extra night being yours truly, Alex McKellar, and the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhauser. Corey, welcome back. Another week, a big night of racing ahead. What do you expect here at Winton?
Well, this is muchly a pressure to pass kind of track, Alex. Much like in the V8 supercars in real life, you don't see too many passing opportunities. You can maybe sneak one up on the inside into the turn 1 chicane, or maybe even to turn 3 on the old pit straight. But other than that, it's a real pressure to pass kind of track. You're going to have to try and make every opportunity count, as it's not going to be hard. It's not going to be easy out there for some of these drivers.
Oh, mate, it's not going to be easy to get. Quality's so important here, honestly. Massively important. Speaking of important quality, Manu Lucchetta for Saybelt Esports. He's out there warming up the tyres in this short lap, doing what he can to get some heat into the rubber. Adam Miles yet to take the track, so we can't cross to him. The other Italian in the field, Dario Frattini, who's leaping up the order and the standings overall after returning after many years away, actually. So good to see Frattini back out there having a crack. Car number 4 then, Dimitri Filipides, the man with the European sounding name, the Asia Club, and the Australian accent. Quite cosmopolitan under the bonnet there for Filipides. Just behind Filipides, Vasco Sorowski, my chief rival and head clown for Team Clowns. Vasco with a monster opportunity with a relatively monster strength of field here tonight to really just shut the door on me in the both the official overall and the ANZ Club Championship here tonight. Scandinavian Joachim Osbeck, he's car number 6 in the hard-charging blue Skippy there, just ahead of, well, somewhere around that region from Finland, Rasmus Viori. A bit of a tongue twister there. Just ahead of him, or just behind him in the seatings at least, is Mark Lay. Another one from the Asia Club, but with an American accent. And then look at that, Corey. Car number 9 here. Speaking of American accents, I hate to think what time it is in Florida at the moment, but Philip Burke has joined us here tonight on debut.
Yeah, I can tell you it's actually not too bad for him at the moment, Alex. He's 12 hours behind me, so that makes it 7:19 in the morning exactly for him. As we move on to the 10th player car, which is Paul Wilson from the AusNZ Club. Coming up behind him is the second of the 2 clowns in the race, Mr. Gregory Adams from the AusNZ in the 11-plated car. We got Alex Herte from Iberia as our 12th plated car, and then wrapping things up for the Locked On lads is the one and the only Mr. Nathan Varney from the AusNZ Club, Alex.
Yeah, great to see Nathan back. Hit his last episode in here, from memory, was at Bell Island a couple of seasons ago. So these low participation rounds throwing up all sorts, and great to see the pink and blue Locked On Lads livery out there now. The one name we missed earlier on was Miles Head Racing, Adam Miles. Haven't seen him out here too often this week, but really great to see him supporting the series, as we know he can, as Lucchetta goes to the top of the standings. Oh, and Alex has not hit the right button. Sorry, folks. This will fix it up. Stick that running in the background, and hopefully there we go. It'll look after itself now. 29.7, if you don't mind, for Lucchetta. That's outstanding, given that he's got another lap to go. I'll tell you, Corey, my goal was to get a 29 in quali. I missed it. By a breath a couple of times, and to think that Manu and, well, half the field have done it in their first lap. Holy cow, the conditions must be good out there.
Oh yeah, Alex, it's a 19-degree track temp, 17-degree ambient temp out there. So the conditions are just about perfect for skippy racing. I mean, I wish I could just get a 29 in the myriad of open practice that I've done. but the best that I could do was a 30.2. So these guys are absolutely pushing the limits out there tonight, and wow, there's definitely 6 people with a 29 out there, Alex, and I'm expecting at least 1 or 2 more to join them.
Yeah, Swarovski just done exactly that. Look how tight the times are. The top 4 drivers separated by less than a tenth. That's right, less than a tenth until Lucetta drops his second, and suddenly they're 4/10 making a lie out of me. Osbeck now goes up. His second lap, he drops again 4/10 behind. Let me see who's left. Viori's just crossing the line now. Where's he put it up to? 2/10. To tell you what, Lucetta's second lap is looking very strong. Filippides up to P6 now after his second lap. Mark Lay about to cross the line. What's he got for us? Moves up only to P10. Swarovski's a late starter out there. He's probably going to be the next one to cross the line, Corey, as he comes out through the third to last corner. Runs a little bit wide. Might have lost a bit of traction there as he comes down the second to last straight into those two 90-degree right-handers to finish the lap.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. He's got to try and drive it really nicely here. He might have gotten a 1x on the back of that curb. Wants to make sure he doesn't do it. As he comes down the pit straight for the final time. Where does he go? He's in P5.
Jumps
and he moves up to third.
Yeah, right.
29.6,
nice.
not bad at all.
Yeah, Adam Miles still to run his second lap, though. Real threat. Now, the unique part of this circuit is the odd numbers, as in pole, and the other odd numbers sit on the left-hand side, inside of turn 1, but the outside of turn 2 and 3, which is a real disadvantage, is Miles crosses the line and dethrones Swarovski, but actually Swarovski won't be too disappointed because, like I say, he starts on the outside of turn 1, but he's got the inside, and at a track that's so difficult to pass, as we see Philip Burke on debut crossing the line, currently sitting 12th at a track. Oh, he just got there, but at a 30.4, he did not get move any further up in the order. Let's just take a quick look at the grid as they line up tonight. No surprise, Simona Lucetta for Sable Esports with a 29.3 sitting on pole. Next, joining him on the front row will be Rasmus Fiore, who's had some incredible pace around here, but 2/10 behind there. But I would suggest your P2, great place to start here as they line up side by side on the run down into turn 1. Adam Miles from Miles Head Racing out of P3. Vasco Swarovski fancying his chances from P4. Joachim Osbeck from Scandinavia starting in 5th. Out of 6th tonight, Dario Fratini. I expected him to be a bit further up, and he will struggle to move forward in what will be a very challenging night out for the Italian. Dimitri Filippides, he starts out of 7th. Out of Paul Wilson, the ANZ driver, out of 8th. Greg Adams, the second of the Team Clowns racers, who needs to update his profile on the overlays. Adam, go check. Greg, go check the Top Split TV Discord, mate. Mark Lay from Asia out of 10th. Alex Hurte from Iberia out of 11th. Philip Burke on debut starts out of 12th. And 13th tonight will be Locked On's own Nathan Verney. Make sure, folks, you check out infiniteracings.com, our partners in crime this season, putting on some great prizes for the drivers, the subscribers to the channel, and those in the second split as well, or those outside of the top split for the season who score the most points, also getting a great prize as well. It's all now on the grid, Corey.
That's right, Alex. Everyone's getting ready to go. I think we're just waiting on Philip Burke to jump onto the grid, and time's out, so he probably just missed out on it. Although we still seem to be at a standstill here. Oh, there he is. He just popped up. So this is the part where everyone's going to start getting ready. As you were saying, the outside line might be the advantage around here, as the second and third corners are both on the right-handers, as we're off and racing here for round number 11, season 28 from Winton. And look at Viore go. I think he just about edged his nose ahead. He's going to be on the outside here, but it turns into the inside for turns 2 and 3. And he's got his nose up there, Alex. He might come out with the lead. Oh, no, he doesn't. Sneaks in behind Lucetta, and here comes Mr. Adam Miles to try and take over second, Alex.
Wow, not the way I thought it would go. I thought Lucetta and Miles would be on the back foot, but it's actually Miles who's moved forward, and then you got Frattini who's moved forward as well. Frattini got the job done. Started in 6th. Those on the well, Frattini the only one who took advantage of that side-by-side start, as Sorowski takes a defensive line out the back there through the first of the 3 consecutive hairpins at 7, now through 8, back through 9. The snaking S's here at Winton out the back. See Manu Lucetta already out to a 7/10 of a second lead. Now, noting that he was a full 2/10 clear in pole position, the rest of the field may well be clutching just to hang on at this stage. And I think race pace, though, history shows that Adam Miles is probably the one with race pace. Although, having said that, Fiori's only joined us a couple of times on a Sunday night, but he has had some startling pace around here this week. It's just a matter of whether he can hold on to the coattails of Manu Lucetta long enough to get back into it and maybe put some pressure on the Italian.
Obviously, that's going to be a big ask at the moment, Alex, although he does have the draft here on the pit straight. It's not a very long straightaway at all. You can just run out the revs in 4th before you get into the chicane. You might be able to pop 5th if you're lucky. But generally speaking, this is not a very high-speed track, as there's someone around in the background, and I think...
Hurte.
I'm not sure who that was.
Yeah, Hurte. I'm just going to see if I can grab the replay here. He goes around the outside there of the orange 8 car in Mark Lay. Just goes in a bit of hot. The rear of the car, and then he gets the grass on the run into turn 2, and he just never quite had control. And the rest of the field there did very well just to avoid him. As we check back in with our leaders now, Viori still just within the draft, but from personal experience, 6/10 on 7/10 now on Manu's draft, that ain't much draft at all. But that's unfortunately the way it goes sometimes. And I think Hurte's had another crash. Hang on, let me just go check. On his own, out the back through the turn 7 hairpin, and then no, he seems okay. I don't know why it said he crashed, or is he about? Yeah, then he's gonna just loop it all on his own. Out the back there, Corey, as we go back to live pictures now as the drivers come across the finish line at the end of lap 2.
Yeah, Alex Hurte just got disqualified. He spun in the second of the 3 hairpins at the back there and started going backwards on the track. He got lost in the track, didn't know where he was. So unfortunately, Hurte has been disqualified from the race. That's some big news there. Viori has closed up the gap a little bit. It's still about 6/7, but he's still within that draft range, not letting Lucetta go. Adam Miles is now at risk of losing Viore here and settling for P3, Alex.
Yeah, just behind him, Sorowski, who will be grinning ear to ear with some bankable points, which have been very hard to come by this week. As just ahead of him, Miles is locked up inside front. On the run through 7, very easy to do, particularly early on. Viori has had pace, as we've said, but then there's this long, very typical line of skippies that we see. Sorowski now taking the narrower exit out of 9 on the run down into 10 there. I'm not sure whether he's just trying to ride the coattails. He'll have the hard charging Italian Frattini behind him, who will look to have oh yeah, look at that, Sorowski taking defensive line, just making sure Frattini was not close enough. Miles now leading him through as the 2 in front, particularly Viori, takes a very wide line into the opening, I should say very wide line into the final corner. Oh, very wider still on exit for one of the drivers behind. I think it was Wilson actually, as Philippides now looks to make the move into turn 1. Shows the nose, gets left room by Wilson, and Adams looking to take advantage. Will he have the legs into turn 3? Oh, Philippides cuts off the nose a bit, and Wilson's gone under the pressure. Under the pressure, he was clear though, and unfortunately the rears just let go there for Wilson, and through goes both Philippides and Adams. Adams doing particularly well to be up there with Philippides. He's had some good pace here this week, showing the improvement that Adams made as the number 2 Clowns driver in the field.
That's exactly right, Alex. And it's all about practice and repetition around a track like this. With its technical nature, you can't really rely on the draft to make things work for you. So you've got to really work hard at your the skill that you have coming into it. And Adam's up there in P8 right now, looking pretty good as he's still on the tail of Filipides, who, as you said, has had pace, but has also had some rotten luck in the warm-up race. He actually got disconnected from the server just before the race start, so he was on the back foot there right from the beginning, and ended up finishing second last due to there only being one retirement, Alex.
Yeah, that's a tough night out for most certainly. Now, Lucetta almost gone. 9/10 of draft around here without ever touching fifth gear is really no draft at all. So it's really just on technique and outright pace at the moment. I expect Lucetta to run away with this one from here. Viore doing his best to hang on, but hanging on is all he's doing at the moment. Miles and Sorowski now in a battle with Frattini. And out the back behind there, Osbeck really looming large in their mirrors at some point. But he is, as we see, Vernie and Lay going side by side through the opening sector. And it looks like Vernie's actually up 2 positions, one at the expense of Hurte, one at Wilson, as we saw earlier on. But he's doing well to be having a good night out here as well. But as I was saying, on the back of Frattini in this three-way battle here with Sorowski and Miles, you got Osbeck, Frattini's putting all sorts of pressure. And Mark Lay and Vernie have had an incident in the background. Let's go check what happened there on replay as they come down through this into the braking zone at 7. Oh, and the car number 9 there, which is Philip Burke, has he's braked a bit earlier than I think Lay was expecting, and Lay's gone right into the back of him, and that's cost him big time. Meanwhile, Vernie now and Burke are both up 3 positions each as we go back, hopefully in a second, to live pictures. Corey up front in this 3-way battle for the final step on the podium, potentially 4 at some point, looking to be the one to watch.
Oh, absolutely, Alex. As Sorowski all over Miles's gearbox right now going into turn 1. And he's really just trying to wait out here, trying to just find the right place to make a move while also defending from Frattini. So he doesn't have to just watch ahead of him. He's also watching behind him, trying to make sure that he can keep Frattini at bay because he doesn't want to lose any more positions. And not with all the glorious points he's going to earn over you for the season. As Frattini looking very aggressive right at the back. Oh, there was a little bit of contact as Frattini went sideways there. Oh, that was so close, Alex.
Yeah, he's giving Sorowski the hurry up through the S's there. Those are 3rd or 4th gear corners through there. And he's just carried a lot more mid-corner speed, obviously. And no harm, no foul by the looks of it, as both cars look to be intact. No bent wings that I can spy. But, yeah, I don't think Sorowski will be thanking him for that, just quietly.
Oh, definitely not, because that would have been quite the shock to Sorowski, you know, getting a tap in the rear end in the middle of what I would say is actually one of the fastest corners on this track. So, you know, it definitely gets the heart rate up, but as you said, no harm, no foul, play on. As Sorowski now trying to focus on catching up to Miles here. And Viore hasn't exactly lost Lucetta here, Alex. He's been keeping the gap at about 0.8 of a second this whole time. So maybe Viore showing a little bit more pace than we anticipated as Lucetta puts in a 28.9. Can you believe it?
Yeah, great job from Lucetta. I was going to say, Viore had just pipped him for the fastest lap last time round, but this time he's opened up that full second. He's at 1.2. Oh, as Lucetta makes... Oh, I don't know if he made a bit of an error there, but certainly kicked up some dust. But that, folks, is that. At about 1.2 seconds, he's off to the races, so to speak, and the action turns, or the attention turns back to this secondary pack fighting for the podium positions, led by Adam Miles, with Sorowski and Frattini. Sorowski doing particularly well there. Great pace. He had good pace here last night. We did a race last night, and he was right up there with them throughout. And showing it again here tonight, working with Miles to hold off Frattini, with Osbeck trailing behind, just waiting for an opportunity.
That's right, Alex. I think Osbeck is honestly just waiting for something to happen in this group of 3. He's a little bit off behind him, about 1 second off of Frattini. So he's actually lost the draft of this pack in front of him. So he's just hoping for some kind of disaster to strike, and maybe he can sweep up and take all three of them. But in saying that, these three are some of the three most experienced about running in a pack, and they're definitely not going to be looking at making any mistakes here on purpose, Alex.
No, that's it. And just checking back in on our other earlier battle, Philippides now cleared out from Adams. Adams has likely made a mistake there, unfortunately, and that's he'll be. Whilst he's up one position, which is hard earned here, let me tell you, he's sitting in 8th and possibly his best result here in the top split. Philip Burke on debut up 3, just ahead of Nathan Verney after the incident we saw for Wilson, who spun, and Mark Lay now in a battle with Wilson as those guys try to do what they can and make the best of a rough night out. Fastest lap of the race last time round, 28.8. Goes to Adam Miles in clean air as he locks up again the inside ride into 7, coming through 8 now. The different lines, I'm not sure if Swarovski that's his natural line or he's just discouraging Frattini for having another look, but these guys are absolutely nose to tail as they come out of 9 and take the run into a potential passing opportunity here. Swarovski both showing the nose and discouraging Frattini from behind, who Swarovski carried some massive speed through that one. On the run now, down into 11. Will he have a look on Miles? You've got to make and take every opportunity. Frattini almost threatens to take advantage of that as well. I wondered if Swarovski lifted there. He looked like he had so much mid-corner speed there. Wondering if it compromised his exit, but certainly, and unfortunately, didn't manufacture an opportunity there.
Yeah, I definitely think that he did lift there, Alex. It definitely looked like he just had so much speed. He was so close to Adam, he didn't want to take him out. These guys are fairly friendly outside of their racing suits. So, you know, these guys definitely not wanting to crash each other, especially since they both got blue and yellow cars. You know, they got to respect each other just for that fact alone. But definitely really intense racing going on here. As you see Swarovski, he's looking to the inside of Miles in the sweeping left-hander here. He wants this position so badly. He wants to get on the podium, and he's so very close, Alex. It's just about when he can try and make that move, as he couldn't quite get it into the first of the 3 hairpins.
Once again, Miles locking up the front inside right into turn 7 there, and Swarovski right over the tailpipe. Hurry up, he's like, get a wriggle on. I need to get away from the challenging Italian driver behind me. Swarovski again showing the nose, finding some form and some pace again. That compromises his run there. It's very difficult to do and maintain exit speed when you have to check up in the middle of the corner. Can really undo you, but Swarovski doing a fantastic job there of being able to hold that line and maintain exit speed and not come under threat from the blue Italian driver Frattini behind him through that exchange there with Miles at turn 10.
Well, that's exactly right, Alex. It's all a big chess game, as I like to say each and every single week. This time it's a different kind of chess game to what it was on a big drafty track like the Nürburgring. Because with this one, you're really going to just try and think about the technical side of things. We keep harping on it. This is a technical track. It's pressure to pass. And you know, both Frattini and Swarovski both putting on as much pressure as they possibly can. Also on that previous lap, Alex, I think Paul Wilson and Mark Lay had a little bit of a coming together in the third of the 3 hairpins there on the back of the track.
Yeah, all right, let's go take a look. What happened here? Yeah, they're coming through the snaking 3rd, 4th gear. S is there, coming down into turn 7. Oh, Lay, it's the 2nd time. He just carries more speed than his counterparts through that section, and 2nd time he's come undone as a result. Meanwhile, back up front, Lucchetta, he has all but checked out. Viori did the fastest lap. I haven't seen a 28.5 all week, and he's dropped one in the last lap just to, oh look, he's tantalizingly close to the draft of Lucchetta, and certainly holding his own. Meanwhile, our big battle here remains Miles, Swarovski and Frattini. These guys, I thought Miles might be able to bridge the gap, but Viori proving me wrong, and just really holding his own against one of the best going around. Swarovski, when will he make his move? They cross the line now. They only got 5 to go. I expect the action to start heating up here. These guys really have to manufacture something soon.
That's right, Alex. This is the point where Swarovski, as you said, really needs to try and start applying more pressure. Really needs to start getting right up on the gearbox of Miles at almost every single opportunity he can to try and pressure Miles into making a mistake. Miles is a hard nut to crack, but we have seen him crack in the past. He's constantly the bridesmaid of the races. We like to go shopping for him for a nice little bridesmaid's dress. But, at this point, sitting in third as Swarovski with a big move, and Frattini with a big mistake going into the pen right corner there. A lot going on, and it's surprising that there's been so much action in the group where there's been absolutely no passing at all, Alex.
Yeah, that is the very nature of this track, though, Corey. There's so much intensity just in, hanging on, in running your laps, running them clean, nailing each and every corner, the technical elements of it, all of which, and barely an opportunity ever to pass. There really needs to be a significant difference between the drivers for passing to happen here. Whether it be in pace or a mistake, you don't hit fifth gear the whole circuit, and these cars, when the draft is in play, is really only at the top end of town in fifth gear. So these guys really need to rely on skill. It is very much a test of skill here, both in terms of your wits and your tactics, and importantly your technique. So these guys working really hard. Swarovski's showing the nose with just the four laps to go this time round. Really starting to kick up some dust and putting all sorts of pressure. Blowtorch on the back of that blue and yellow car of Adam Miles.
And it looks like Swarovski just carries so much speed into turn 5 there. And, it's crazy that he gets so close to Adam Miles without touching him. He does the opposite of Frattini, where Frattini hit Swarovski before. Swarovski hasn't hit Miles yet, although he's become pretty close to it. It's amazing that no contact has been made, as Swarovski now looking to try and get the advantage here. Pulls out to the right side really early. I don't think he's looking for the move this time. He might look at it going into the penultimate corner, turn 11. We'll have to wait and see. He didn't quite get as good of a run that time through turn 10, Alex, and that's hurt him a little bit here on this straight.
Yeah, fascinating to see the different lines being taken as Frattini shows the nose into 11. Not this time round, I don't think. The draft protecting Swarovski there as well as his run out of 10. But Frattini, quite a narrow exit there out of the final corner. I think he might be setting up to have a look. Swarovski not having the best run. Swarovski's going to defend around the outside. Frattini's showing the nose, just disrupting the line, perhaps setting up for a run into turn 3. But Swarovski, excellent job there, holds off, but that's really dropped his chances there from Miles. Perhaps that's what Frattini's thinking with a few laps to go. Put him off his lines, get him out of the draft of Miles and make his job a little bit easier, if at all possible, to see if he can't attack the Australian driver and see if he can't get past him.
Well, that is one of the ways in which this is a pressure to pass kind of track. As Swarovski makes a mistake, so does Frattini. Swarovski got a little bit sideways. Frattini got sideways and into the dirt a little bit. So that hurt them both so slightly. But it's massive for Adam Miles, who now has 0.7 of a second between himself and Swarovski. So, this is probably going to be where we'll see Adam Miles sail away a little bit. He doesn't have the pressure. He can just focus on driving the track. He won't have to worry about Swarovski putting the pressure on him. But now Swarovski has all the pressure behind him and Frattini, and he has to try and close that gap to Miles to minimize the effect of Frattini's attacks, Alex.
Yeah, I'm just going to check back up front, and whether by invention or design, Lucetta now has Viore right on his tail. Is going to make the last couple of laps pretty interesting, as they're separated by about 0.4 as they cross the line with only 3 laps to go. Meanwhile, our battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th continues. Frattini not yet in a position to have a look. Swarovski, though, compromised, will have the poorer run, and the nose gets side by side. Here's the move. Frattini into 3. Swarovski around the outside. You can hold it there. Gives him room and only enough. Now into 4, and well defended there around the outside of turn 3. I was going to say, and I did. You can do it around the outside there. Excellent driving from both parties there. Enough room given and enough room taken, and stoic defence from Swarovski there. Now, though, likely to be battling for 4th rather than 3rd, as once again that puff of smoke from Miles ahead, almost customary now as they go through 7. Now Viore all over the back of Lucetta, giving us something else to look at in the final stages, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. Biore putting all the pressure on Lucetta that he possibly can. Lucetta takes a wide entry into turn 10, looking for the better exit, as he definitely did get the better exit there. But Biore, as we've seen, he has the pace to match it with Lucetta. And as you said, I'm not sure whether this is by design or by complete happy accident, but we have a battle on here for the final 2 laps, as Viore looking very menacing on the back of Lucetta at the moment, just trying to stick in the draft to see if he can match pace. But before too long, I'm going to expect these two to start battling it out tooth and nail, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. As the fastest lap currently sits with Viore, as we watch the battle behind with Swarovski and Frattini continue. No looking this time round. Swarovski doing a fantastic job in defence of the Italian there. Once again, and Miles not really pulling away from them, so the pace is good as well. Meanwhile, up front we have Lucetta for Saybelt Esports once again leading from Erasmus Viore. Car number 7 here, but obviously pace belying that number, as somewhat of a defensive line from Lucetta that time through 7, and Swarovski and Frattini similarly. The battle continues on. The top 5 really only separated by about 3.5 seconds, which 2 laps to go is a testament to the strength and caliber of the drivers that are here tonight.
That's exactly right, Alex. And that's actually the second time I've seen Lucetta go defensive. He also went defensive into turn 3. Didn't get the best of runs out of turn 2, which allowed Viore to actually get side by side with our number 1 plated driver. So it's definitely going to be interesting, as we're going to be coming to the last lap here to see what Viore can do to try and overcome the might that is Manuel Lucetta.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's got the run into the first corner, that's for sure, and it's going to be very, very tough to do from there. I think Lucetta has put the pedal to the metal, and Swarovski's bridged the gap, and he's now got the full draft of Adam Miles, and whilst it won't manufacture an overtake there, as we see Frattini pushing all sorts of buttons, he's pedaling really hard at the moment. But again, not going to have a look, really just nowhere for the Italian to go. Meanwhile, back up front, Lucetta, after being after a little bit of threat there, yeah, it looks like it's still his race to lose. Frattini, last time round, set the fastest lap of the night, perhaps even the fastest lap of the week, with a 28.19. Clean lap ahead of Swarovski's 28.11. Which must have had a 1x in it, Corey, because otherwise it would have been the fastest lap of the night.
Oh, absolutely, Alex, but you can see all the kinds of pressure that both Frattini and Swarovski are trying to apply to the cars ahead, and Viore also trying to apply some pressure to Lucetta, but I think Lucetta is going to have this one stitched up. The battle is still on in earnest for third, as you saw that Adam Miles taking a bit of a wider run through the turn 10. As it's down to the final 2 corners, this is where it's going to matter, Alex.
Yeah, oh yeah. Beautiful defense there from Lucetta. He's got it done. Wide angle into the final corner. It's going to be Saybelt Esports. Manu Lucetta, who is going to take this one from Viore. Both of them displaying a bit of pride and happiness in that one. Miles ahead of Swarovski and Frattini. And for all the lack of exchanging places there, there was certainly a bit of excitement in that one as Olspec and Philippides come by. Oh, here we go. There's a bit of a battle going on here. Oh, what's going on in the back there? Philip Burke through the final corner. What on earth happened there? As Adams crosses the line, I reckon they've had a bit of a ding-dong there in the final stages. Let's go back and have a look there. I think it's, yeah, look at this. They're coming out the back. These two around the outside. Side by side they go. Adams pushes Burke wide. Burke comes back up the inside at 8. They're side by side for the better part of the final lap. Look at these two go. Burke lets him through. Gives him the hurry up through the apex at 9. Adams says, don't mind me. I'm just taking the corner. They're going to break into turn 10 here. Burke... really, oh, he's got a decent enough exit, but Adams holding his own. The draft comes into play. Like I said, they don't hit 5th gear, and then I think it all just unfolds here. Burke, oh, he's just carried so much more speed, and then it was all just Burke on the on the happy stuff at the end there. That's what we saw in the background. Gee, he did well to hang on to that. What an exciting way to finish that one, Corey.
Oh, absolutely, Alex. As I'm just watching Nathan Verney do a little bit of urban exploring here in what should be the inaccessible areas of the track. Doing a couple of burnouts there, but exciting racing there to finish that one off. That battle for third, the whole race, Miles Strosky, Frattini, that was definitely the battle of the night. Those guys put on an absolute show. It was a chess match the whole way through. We didn't see any overtakes out of those three at all, but it was definitely just such a technical display of excellence that, it was definitely a 10 out of 10 effort from all three of those drivers.
Yeah, really enjoyed that one, I have to say. So let's go grab a bit of scenic and then check out our results here tonight. Manu Lucetta, pole to pole, pole to flag. Wow, flag to flag, that's the one. Sabre Esports won by 4/10 from Rasmus Fiore, who's put on a great display to hang with one of the best going around. And probably right up there with the best at the moment going around, although we're minus a couple at the moment to measure himself against in the Astro boys who are absent tonight. But Manu Lucetta, take nothing away. Fantastic victory for the Italian ahead of Viore. Madam Miles for Miles Ahead Racing did a great job there in P3, holding off a really, really strong performance there from Sorosky in P4 ahead of Frattini, who similarly has been driving very strongly here all night. Those two covered by the width of a handkerchief at the end there. Frattini finishing in fifth ahead of Osbeck, who was some 5 seconds. He was in it until he wasn't, and he was 5 seconds back at the end there in P6. Dimitri Filipides, a good pace here this week, but just unable to match it with the big guns under the bright Sunday night lights there, finishing down in P7 ahead of Greg Adams, the other Team Clowns driver in the field, who's finished 8th and possibly his best result. We'll hear from Greg, no doubt, in a moment. Philip Burke on debut with a spectacular finish there. That last lap battle with Adams, something to behold. Finishing in 9th ahead of Locked On iRacing's Nathan Verney, who, like Burke, was up 3 positions, which is tough to do here. Finishing inside the top 10, no doubt for his best result, if I'm not mistaken. Paul Wilson there in 11th, just ahead of Mark Lay and Alex Hurte, who, in a remarkable turn of events, as described by your good self, Corey, managed to have himself DQ'd, I think, by halfway through lap 2 from memory.
Yeah, it was about that point. Yeah, as I said, it was a bit weird. He had that spin in the middle of the 3 hairpins, and I said he must have just gotten lost in where he was. Started driving backwards on the track, and yeah, that was all she wrote for him, which is unfortunate because he's usually a fairly decent driver, Alex.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah, just a bit of a shame. A bit of comedy, I should say as well, but, such is life sometimes. Anyway, we've got some folks coming up for a bit of a chat, which we always love to do. I'm just going to grab the right button. Have I got the right button there? I think so. Yes, we have one, Adam Miles, who was in it up to his elbows or his eyeballs there in a battle for 3rd place. Came out on top of that one. Adam, how was the running out there and strong performance in P3?
Yeah, it was. I almost didn't join here because I don't know what I can tell you about my race, to be honest. Qualified P3, and I think the first 4 corners were about as exciting as it got. Saw the opportunity when I think Manu and Rasmus went side by side, did a little bit of a switcheroo, got alongside Rasmus, and I think he had the inside line for turn 5, and I just thought, cold tyres, I'm not going to run it around the outside, we'll lose Manu, I'll let him go. And then just lap 2, I don't know if you called it, last 2 corners, just got to drift on. You do it in the penultimate corner, and then your tyres are just, if they feel superheated for the last corner, and did it again in the last corner, lost 6 or 7 tenths, and then I was just struggling to hang on the back. And yeah, it was. I was just trying to ignore Vasco. Basically, I thought he's not going to do anything silly. I like racing against Vasco, so he's not going to just break 20 meters later and try and send it. So I was trying to, as much as possible, just ignore him, have a good race, try and catch up if the front 2 fought, but they never really did. And so I just had to keep it on track and had good pace. I mean, the 28.4 round here is really good. It's just a shame that I messed up the first couple of laps.
Yeah, mate, I really thought you had the good opportunity there in the first couple of corners. And I thought you did really well because the unique sort of side-by-side start here rather than a staggered start, it's tough to start in the even positions, right? So in the odd positions, I should say, out of P3, because the evens get the outside of turn 1, which is okay. Then they get the inside to the next couple. So for yourself to be in a position to be attacking the guy in P2 was really good. So, and then, as you say, combination of the pace of Lucetta, and Fury did quite well to hang with him. But, yeah, it was on in earnest behind you anyway. So maybe the best seat in the house, the mirrors of the cockpit. I don't know. But anyway, mate, look, great to see you out there at the end of what's been a pretty tragic week for the Skippy participation. Yeah. Certainly appreciated folks like yourself coming out and supporting the series here tonight, though. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yourselves, as always, for doing the broadcast. It's always appreciated by everyone. And yeah, I mean, for the podium did fantastic. I mean, the qualifying for Manu and Rasmus was really good. So I didn't have anything for that. It was a good lap. So full credit for them qualifying at the front and finishing at the front.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. That's kind of the way it happens here sometimes. But listen, congratulations and thanks again for your support, and look forward to talking to you again in the final round of the season.
Yeah, I'll see you in Chicago.
Brilliant. Thanks, mate.
See ya.
There you go, Corey. Adam Miles, one of the good ones who, I really thought he might have had the crack there early on, and the opportunities are so hard to come by here. And then it was, I don't want to say a quiet race because he really had to push, because Vasco and Frattini certainly were.
That's right, Alex. And I just love the way he said that his whole race strategy there after he lost Viore was just try and ignore Vasco. It's definitely not easy to do because Vasco, one of the loudest and the most energetic people that we generally have come into the booth for an interview, and his racing style definitely reflects that as well. And he as he said, he knows that Vasco is a really respectful driver. He's not going to run into you on purpose. He's not going to break too deep just because he wants to try and get in a position. He's going to work it all out and be very smart about it. But try and ignore Vasco. That's going to be the line of the season for me, because that was definitely a great strategy. It worked out for him in the end.
Yeah, it certainly did. Speaking of Vasco, let's bring him up. So g'day. Good evening, Mr. Sorofsky. P4, mate. Hard fought. P4 too. Good pace on display from yourself, from Adam in front, and certainly all sorts of pressure from Frattini and behind.
Evening, guys. That was a fun race. It just so hard to get past Adam. It was like somewhere, anywhere, and he made a mistake at the last hairpin, but the problem was I ran it up on the curb just before that, and I was like, well, there goes that chance. But yeah, we second lap in quali made a couple of little mistakes, and that cost us. So it's a big difference when here, the further back you are, it's obviously harder to get up the front. And there was a few moments I thought about having a go at Adam earlier on, and then I was like, we'll definitely lose the front if I try to put it down in there. So it didn't. And then Frattini come through, and my mirrors were full of blue. I could promise you that. But it was a good fun race. Really wanted to try and get past Adam, but mate, I gave it everything, and that's it. That's what we had.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And I've just taken a big sigh of relief because the points on offer weren't that great in the end.
I haven't seen yet, mate. I haven't seen maybe
178 for P4, which is
I know.
You needed that spot, mate. 198 for P3, and I reckon the season was done and dusted. But it does come down to next week, thankfully.
Keeps it interesting.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. We'll see how we go. But listen, mate, can I say really strong drive? I thought as you said, you were going to take a couple of opportunities there. And look, it really just goes to show that every opportunity here is worth its weight in gold, because they're so few and far between. But certainly, strongest field of the week by a mile, mate. And you've held your own very, very admirably.
Thanks, Alice. There was a few moments there, but Adam and me had very different styles going to a couple of the corners, and the last thing I wanted to do was put my wing into his back tyre or something like that. So, mate, people around you and the way they race and the way you race and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it was all good fun though.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It was...
and we won the fastest lap coming up in the main straight. I wasn't happy. I saw that in an earlier thing when I was doing some run around. I said, just don't hit that dirt patch in quali. No, I did it on the fastest lap of the race. No.
I did see that. I think I called it in the race too. Anyway, mate, congratulations on a great drive. Very strong performance in a strong field. So anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight, mate?
Oh, you guys, as always, you and Corey for doing such a top job. You for, like I said, being the pain all season long. So we'll keep that going for another round.
Yeah.
And obviously the boys, Doug, Martin, and good old Gregory that was running around in this field as well today, which was awesome to see, even though he's not going to get points for the second split thing, but that's okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it, mate. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Thanks, Vasco. Talk to you soon, mate.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Corey, one of the good ones. Vasco Sorowski, he's done a great job here tonight, finishing fourth. Picked up some more ratings, some points. Not enough to extend his lead in the championship, but in the ANZ championship at least. But we live to fight another day at least.
That's right, Alex. He's just keeping it interesting for you. He knows that he can't let you be disheartened going into the final round. But it was a great effort from him. He put in 110% effort. And I actually just noticed going through his laps, earlier on in the race, he put in a 29.118, and then followed that up by the 28.112. So he was absolutely flying throughout that whole race, trying to get any advantage he could over Adam, and it just did not materialize. But going into next week, going into Chicago, a race that we haven't seen on the Skippy schedule yet, and it should be an interesting one.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Should be interesting. First time circuit there at a street circuit, much akin to Belle Isle. Anyway, we've got a couple to go. Let's bring up our next finisher, which was Master Greg Adams, who had one of the more spectacular finishes in the battle for the what was that, P8 there in the end, mate. It looked like a bit of fun there at the end.
Yeah, no, it was good, and woohoo, top 10, positive I rating in a SNL race. I'm happy.
Amazing, mate. And I thought you were taking it to them there at different stages in the race as well. And great to see the purple wheels out there going strong for the Team Clowns.
No, I was very happy with tonight. It's I was keeping up with Dimitri there for a while, and then the choking issue kicked in.
Yeah, I did wonder because I saw you were right with him, and then you right weren't. So but still, mate, strongest performance inside the top 10 in P8, and a great night to do it at an Australian circuit.
Yeah, that's it. No, nice to drive it home.
Beautiful. All right, mate. Anyone like to give a shout out to tonight?
Of course, the rest of my clown buddies. We've got Doug and Martin in the background, and my two mentors, Vass and yourself.
Beautiful.
And great coverage again.
Yeah,
thanks,
appreciate it, mate. Look forward to chatting to you again soon.
All right, see ya.
Yeah, Corey Greg Adams had a great night out there. Love to hear the smile on the dial after races like that, mate.
Oh, absolutely, Alex. And as you said, he got a top 10. He got some positive I rating. He'll be on top of the moon getting that in the broadcasted top split race. Hopefully, he'll use this momentum going into next week and build up his I rating a little bit more. And hopefully, if we get a little bit of a bigger field, we see him just sneak his way in. He's the 11th played car tonight, and I reckon he might be able to do it if the participation is a little bit average again next week.
Yeah, potentially, mate. He's creeping up towards that 3,500, which is the mark that gets you into Division 1 territory as well. So he's done very well this season. He's climbed a long way up the order from that perspective, and made his debut this season, if I'm not mistaken. And he's had a few runs since and better for him. So great to see young Greg up there. Now, next on our list will be one Nathan Verney for Locked On iRacing, who had an adventurous race, I have to say, mate. Great to see you back in the top split as well. Welcome back, and I hope you enjoyed your night out there.
Yeah, definitely did. So thanks for having a chat with me. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm always wanting building up to try and get in the top split, and you look at some of these lower participation weeks and go, oh, might be the night. Yeah, but it's one of those funny things where of course Infinite Racing Services has got the great sponsorship for the second split the prize, and it was kind of a situation where I was like, oh yes, I've made the top split. Oh no,
exactly.
I needed some points to try and get in for that, but no, it was he's not often you finish 10th and still gain I rating, so I'm pleased with that.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, you're right. The prize on offer this season, the coaching session out of Infinite Racing Services for the guys in the lower splits, Yeah, it's a real pickle, isn't it? You want to have a crack at the big boys, and then, but there's the prize on offer as well. But still, no doubt better for the run, mate. I've got you up 3 positions, which is equal best on the night. So, and hopefully a bit of fun out there at the same time.
Yeah, it definitely sometimes feels like of course you don't know in advance if you're going to get up here, but it feels like I haven't put on the best showing the few times I've been up because I've only really done maybe one race, the race prior to the big one, but you haven't practiced all the weeks like we used to do with the Aussie car skip over series. So but yeah, it was good. It's really one of those tracks. I was solo lapping for a while, but it's one of those ones where you start getting those little hairpins right, and it can be really enjoyable. You want to come around again and try it again. So yeah, it's pretty enjoyable in that way.
Yeah, fantastic, mate. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Great to see the Locked On iRacing livery in the top split once again. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, just to Corey and Alex for the top split broadcast. I've watched it every week. I've done for years, and yeah, that's it's great to be able to watch myself back again. I think so. Yeah, cheers, guys.
Perfect. Great. Look forward to having you back, hopefully in a future round, mate. Who knows? Next week, roll of the dice might see you in there, depending on who rocks up, as always the case. But still, maybe you want the points in the second split. I don't know. We'll see how we go. Anyway, mate, great to see you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Bye.
There you go, Corey, Nathan Verney there for Locked On iRacing. Really glad to hear that the Infinite Racing Services, who have joined us, of course, with a few great prizes this season, a full 12-month subscription for the winner of the season overall, the coaching session for the highest point score on the lowest splits, and anyone who subscribes here to the Twitch channel goes in the draw for a 3-month subscription as well. But great to see that's had a meaningful impact on the community. Certainly what I was hoping for when we joined up with Infinite Racing Services this season.
Yeah, absolutely, Alex. And I'm one who's put my subscription in on the channel to try and get it because I know that I'm not going to get the points in the lower splits. Obviously, being here broadcasting with you. So it's definitely a great opportunity for everyone involved, whether you're watching or driving. And hopefully, with the benefits that you could get from being a prize winner, could see a couple more people sneak up into that top split, which would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, mate, that's the plan. The rising tide, all boats rise with it. So hopefully that's the sort of thing that we're looking to get done here. But final cab off the rank here tonight, Mr. Paul Wilson, who was having an adventurous night there. A couple of little mistakes, I think, crept in and spoiled it for you though, mate. Had a good run otherwise out there.
Adventurous is a good way to describe it, mate. How he's going?
Yeah,
I was going all right, and then I hit the dirt pretty hard, trying too hard to keep Dimitri behind me. And then after that, I was plodded along to come home 12th. But you always got to come in and say good day and thank you. So thank you and good day.
Yeah, beautiful, mate. Still inside the SNL points, so not all is lost. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, well done, mate. It was good to see you out there having a crack and mixing it up with and rubbing shoulders with some pretty quick guys out there as well.
Oh, mate, I've got to give a small defence to Winton in that Winton shows off the how good the skippy is to me, because driving Winton in this thing, it makes it almost feels like the racing that I do in other cars. There's no draft, it's all pressure. And I guess one other thing I've got out of this week is that because a lot of the corners are very similar, I've been trying to improve my cornering technique, and it gives a good opportunity to try and practice that sort of regular similar corners. So it's not all bad at Winton. Get out there, boys and girls.
Exactly right, mate. Great advertisement for the Winton circuit there. And yeah, I agree with you, mate. It really does draw out some of the technical elements, and a lot of the guys finding that out who've had a crack at it. So, mate, thanks again for joining us. Great to see you out there. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Oh, the SNL crew, thank you all. Infinite Racing Services champions. Yeah, good on you. Thanks all.
Beautiful. Thanks, Paul. Look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yeah.
There you go, Corey. One Paul Wilson, who enjoyed his time out there by the sounds of things, which is certainly great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been seeing Paul a little bit more in the previous weeks, and it's great to see him out there having some fun. He doesn't care where he finishes. He just wants to be in the top split having fun, which is the main aim of the game at the end of the day. Yeah,
100%, mate, 100%. All right, folks, that might do us here tonight. Thank you everyone for joining us. Great performance by Manu Lucetta to take out the biggest race of the week once again. Corey, tell the folks at home what you got coming up this week.
Well, the Airport Racing League's actually in an off week this week, so there'll probably be a little bit of shenanigans racing going on Friday for the Night Owl Racing League. We're going to be going to Knockhill, which will be right up my alley as someone who has more experience than everyone else in the league there. And then it's back here next week with you for the final round, Alex, from the Chicago Street Circuit.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. Interesting circuit. Did a couple of laps there the other day. And and really enjoyed it. So hoping we get a lot of support from the community back again. Now, everything top speed is on your screen as always. The Discord is where you'll find us, and all the news and views on Skippies and Sunday Night Lights in general. Also, check out the information there about how to get your names in the overlays. There's a little app there that sucks all the details up into there automagically, and the photos and all the rest of it. Top Split TV is where you'll find us on Twitch each and every Sunday night. 9:15 p.m. Australian Eastern, GMT plus 10 at the moment. The Top Split on YouTube is where you'll find all the race replays for this and the other 27 MNL and SNL seasons. And InfiniteRacings.com is where you'll find our friends at Infinite Racing Services, who put on a great bunch of prizes that everyone's talking about this season. Go and check them out. Support those who support the series. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, thumbs up at all those places. It really does help us get the good word about the great Skippy series out there in amongst it. But for now, folks, and on behalf of the Chaotic One, Mr. Corey Steinhauser, I'm Alex McKellar, and I will say until next time, ciao for now.